What's up, everybody, and welcome back. I'm home from my trip to Austin. If I look exhausted, that's because I am. So I wanted to share a little bit about this trip and what went on down there and why I showed up. It wasn't really about the whole winter kill thing that I made that short video on about, that hopefully many of you have seen. If not, it's there, or maybe it's there. It's in one of those buttons if you want to go check that out. But I wanted to give you an idea of what was going on down there, what we were talking about, what the purpose of the visit was, and you know, kind of share a little bit of the behind the scenes at Emerald Lawns. So let's go ahead and roll that intro. So the purpose of this trip was to pop in on Emerald Lawns and go down and talk a little bit about their program, some of the products and things like that, and shoot a little video actually for them to get out to their customers, just so everybody had a little bit of a better idea of some of the program changes and overall what they were going to be offering for services for 2021. The beauty of that, and why this is kind of a good thing, is sometimes when product explanations are needed, obviously it's best to come to the source. And I've gone down and visited Emerald Lawns pretty much every year for the last 4 years as they've been doing things like adding aerate to the program, adding RGS to the program, GreenePop to the program this year, and you know, constantly trying and evolving their program as time has gone on. So with more of the widespread addition of aerate into their program, having me come down and explain a little bit about it and what we saw in the university trials, and just talk about some of the things that they've seen over the couple of years of testing it. It was just kind of a good open conversation.
I didn't sleep good last night.
You could tell. I'm just kidding.
Where they at?
Go for it.
10 years older. When go for what?
Yeah, whatever. Just say something cool. Intro it.
Hey everybody. I talked to John Perry from Greene County Fert to come down here and shoot a quick video that explains his products. And I have Keith Bass here. He's my product manager and procurement. He's going to talk about why we chose to go with these products and, you know, the timing of it. As a lot of you guys know, we've changed our program up, and you know, we've been talking about it for a while. So this is the time we're going to introduce it for you. So sit back, and we got some Q&As coming, something like that.
Now we're in frame. This is where the edits start to take place.
Yeah. Also, we're gonna try to rush this because we're about to go eat some really good barbecue. Just an FYI.
You gotta keep all of these for outtakes just in case. That's really the best thing to do.
Or if it seems rushed, it's because we're really hungry and we're about to go eat barbecue.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's go.
Question. Well, I'll tell you, one of the main reasons why I wanted to try the liquid aeration and give it a shot is because, well, for one thing, all the irrigation repairs I was having to do. But for another, like the 2 times a year you aerate are spring and fall, and that also happens to be the 2 times a year that we're putting down pre-emergent. So I put a pre-emergent down and come across it with the core aerator, and I just obliterated my pre-emergent barrier pretty much. Another huge selling point for me was, you know, Keith tries out any new product before we try it, and then I'm going to let him talk about the GreenePop too, and about, you know, what he saw when he tested it out. But when we were trying out this liquid aerate, I said, hey Keith, just aerate half my yard. Don't even tell me which half it is, and then I'm gonna see if I can tell the difference. And what was it, probably like 4 or 5 days later? Yeah. Like I thought Keith was gonna do like half of this yard, like this side do it and this half not, but no, he kind of went around and did a path, and I could see his walking path of where he went, you know, after only like 4 days. That's how effective it was. Did I answer the question good?
That's a good question.
It was a good question, but that's the reason why it works on disease.
Yeah.
And it really does. Like we get helminth really bad here. Like
It allows that soil to dry out.
That's probably
redo.
That's probably the biggest reason why I'm using it is because of helminth and because of disease.
That's awesome.
We have a lot of diseases that create hydrophobic areas of the soil, and so one of the things that we talked about when we elected to go with this is, will this help those kind of problems, be resolved without getting crazy?
Well, here's something really cool, and this came out of the studies with aerate as well. So whenever we do studies, we put it up against other things, so with this it was mechanical aeration, and then we added a couple of our own other products into it as well. So when we did a combo of the aerate and the RGS, those two together, we had almost 190% increase in root mass, which is why the GreenePop's super powerful, because we've got a measure of that in that product, is it just helps to blow the roots out and just get them moving. Now, another thing that's really interesting is in the summertime, particularly in Bermuda, but really in warm season grasses, you have a slough off of your roots, and they'll shed like significantly.
When you say slough off, what do you mean?
It means the roots kind of die back and they go into the soil.
Kind of shrink and they just rot off.
And they become soil food, right? And so the more of them that you have down there, you create a sponge effect that can actually hold more water, and it gives everything to sort of feed off of, and it actually is like an extra layer of fertilizer that the plant provides for itself, and it'll shed 60%, 70% of its roots in August, and then it all builds back up into the fall, like what you were saying. So there's a time where if we can be piling in root mass and it's coming to that stressful and really dry time, those roots slough off, they provide like another layer for water to kind of get held up into, and then it just keeps the plant cruising right through. It's awesome.
How'd you come up with all this shit?
Time.
Gotcha.
I was a really lonely boy. Hide behind the toes. Somebody needs to hide behind them.
Well, hey, just as a quick wrap up,
wait, hold on. Are you back on?
I believe I am. You can come check this thing.
Does it say
quick.
REC in the corner in red?
I'm seeing something's flashing. So
let's take a look.
Luke, can they have your personal cell phone number as well?
Exactly. Now, one really cool thing is this: is at the beginning of the year, we started applying GreenePop down to the Bermuda in Round Rock, Austin, New Braunfels. They have kind of locations from San Antonio up to Round Rock, and that really made a pretty big difference in what they could have potentially seen as damage to the turf because of all of that snow and ice that came down. But for the most part, I got around and I did get to take a look at a lot of lawns just on my own, doing some exploration, and I think everybody's going to come out of that pretty well. I didn't get the opportunity to see any St. Augustine or Zoysia lawns and walk on site to see how those were looking, but the Bermuda I'm very confident about. So trips like this aren't always work. We get to play a little bit, and I think that's really important. You can only talk about fertilizers and chemicals for so long before people start to gloss over. So it's always good to kind of break that up. And I got to go out and eat with these guys on a couple of occasions. Play a little round of horse outside on the hoop for a little bit, and I still have so many basketball skills. It is absolutely unbelievable.
Wife saw it out and she started playing with it.
What's he talking about?
And she likes it better than the camera she has.
Right.
So I am.
Well, I'm just going to look at John's system and go, that's exactly what we need.
Stop it.
Right. I mean, Kristen's got walk mirrors over camera, even if it works.
It is. I would say that I shot enough bricks that I could have built a house pretty easily. Skill level 0 these days. That seems to be what's gone on. I haven't played basketball and I don't know how. I just, you know, I'm gonna sit here and make excuses for the next little while, but it was terrible, awful, and I should be embarrassed for myself. So I'd urge you to take a look at Emerald Lawn. I'll put a link down below and you can kind of see what they're all about. I think that Luke and his team are so passionate and so committed to everything. They have just a kind of a different vibe, and it's definitely worth checking out. Now, I know in this I did touch a little bit on the aerate study, and that information will be coming across a multitude of videos as we move into springtime here, now that people are out and looking at their lawns and the weather is actually turning nice. I think it's about time that I get some of that info out. So stay tuned for that over the next little bit. I'm going to take it out in a few different videos because there's a lot to unpack inside of the whole study and what we saw and how it worked, but I think you guys will really enjoy that. So that's pretty much it. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend or week or whenever you find this video. I hope you're doing great out there, and hey, spring is coming and it's going to be a damn good year. I'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.